Here before we start. Okay, good. Yes, so glad to see you all present again for today's session. Today is the last day of module 2, and we're going to be finalizing this cyber safety for seniors module. Of course, that's what the focus was for this week's content. Okay. Before I proceed, anyone has any question for me that would like to have it addressed before we proceed into the continuation of online banking? Let me just adjust the AC here. Okay, I guess there are no questions, so let me proceed on to the content for today. So we touched briefly on online banking yesterday before we closed off yesterday's session. And what we basically looked at is the security of online banking. And as I had mentioned, the responsibility falls on both the banking institution as well as on the user, right? That would be us who use the online banking service. So the bank has certain protocols it has to follow to ensure that the website or the services they're providing are secure. But at the same time, we have to be able to ensure that our banking accounts are secure as well, right? So that's what we briefly touched on. So today, what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be seeing a couple of examples of some of the two common banking institutions that we have here. And we'll see more or less how the process is for these specific banking institutions. Of course, each bank has their own unique process, but the idea behind it is similar. Okay, and we'll also jump into briefly look at some tips for online shopping. Okay, I know some of you do online shopping, and I just want to reiterate some safety practices that maybe you have been doing, or bring about some new practices that probably you were not aware of. Okay, so that is what we're going to be looking at for today. And let me just jump into the flow of online banking. Okay. I think I had asked you guys yesterday, how many of you are using online banking services? And for the most part, I saw quite some hands indicating that you use online banking, which is very good, right? I mean, it makes the process for carrying out financial transactions easier and faster. So for those of you that do not use online banking services and are interested in using it, there are certain steps that you will need to take to set up your online banking. Okay. Again, it differs based on the bank, but generally what I will share is what the process is for most of the banks. So because online banking is such a delicate service that it requires so much security, the online banking service, you first have to request it or sign up for this service from your bank. Okay, so you have to either go into the bank personally and tell them, you know what, I would want to access my account via the internet. And they would normally sign you up. I know some banks would actually have you create your username and your password there, or they will provide you a username and a password to start off the process. Okay, so why they require for you to sign up first is they want to ensure that whoever is requesting the online account is indeed the owner of the account. Okay. One moment, guys. I forgot to remove my availability here. Okay. Yes. So first of all, we need to sign up for the service at the bank. So once we have done that and the bank has already started the process, we then need to go to the to the bank's website online to register ourselves. Okay, so the bank does its process and then we must do the other part of the process where we verify and confirm that we are the owners of the account. Okay, and that includes registering your username, entering your password. Some banks, I believe, issue a temporary password for you to log into your account for the first time and then expect you to or require you to change your password and create one of your own. Okay. So again, first we need to sign up and then we register for the online services. Some of the steps for us to set up our online bank account include entering your personal information, right? So we need to provide our personal information when we're registering. And some banks will arrange to contact you to verify your identity, right? Again, as I mentioned, for security purposes, they need to confirm that whoever is trying to register for an online banking service is actually authorized to do that. You may get an activation code to verify or sort of evidence or proof that you are signing up for the account. As I had mentioned, it will ask you to set up your username and password or PIN number, different security codes. And some banks will request the use of a security device to assist in logging in, right? And we'll see one of the examples would be Atlantic Bank. For those of you that work with Atlantic Bank, they use a token as a security device. So again, process for setting up your online banking. And just to recap what we had shared yesterday, when it comes to the bank's security process, they need to ensure that they have a secondary verification method to protect your online banking information or your financial information in general. Okay. So after this, I want to proceed to showing you a more detailed example, and that would be Atlantic Bank. But before I move into that example, any questions regarding setting up online banking or online banking services in general?
And what is your username?
Miss Young,
Still say?
the username will normally be provided to you by the bank. That is going to be like your
Okay.
ID. Yeah. Different banks have different formats, but the bank is the one that normally provides the username, or they ask you to create one for yourself. Miss Olga? Do you have a question? So unmute your mic and
Okay.
let me know.
My question is, well, I am somebody who give my daughters money to do transaction. I am not online, but so that I can be free. You said something about you get a token like in what, like a token. You said that might be an additional security that that some banks may give to you. What do you mean by a token?
Yes, I will show you that when I bring up Atlantic Bank's example, because I know for sure Atlantic Bank uses that. Not
Okay.
all the banks use it, right?
Okay,
Not all the banks use it. But the token is just another example of a secondary verification method. Okay, it's a secondary verification method. So it's another way that the bank can make sure that Miss Olga is Miss Olga and that she's the one authorized to conduct any transaction on this,
Thank you very much, Ms. Dempsey.
right? Okay, Miss Olga, you're welcome. Yes, and before I proceed, there's one more point I want to bring out to you. So remember, when I say register, we must register online via the bank's website. For the bank to be able to offer online services, they need to ensure that they're doing this through a secure website, right? And there's a way on how we can ensure that their website is secure. And perhaps some of you might have noticed this before or may have heard of it before, but identifying a secure website is as easy as looking at the URL or the website address and looking out for this padlock sign, right? This sign here indicates that this is a secure website. If it does not have this next to it, look for the HTTP and it should have the S, HTTPS. Right, so this one has it. It has the padlock sign. It also has the HTTPS address. The HTTPS at the beginning of the address. The same with the second example here. So we're looking for HTTPS. Now, what does this mean? When you look or when you browse at a website that does not have the lock sign or does not have the S at the end of the HTTP, that means that the company that owns that website has not taken the extra precaution to ensure that whatever information you communicate from the user to the company is protected, right? So it's more vulnerable for a cyber attack compared to one that has the HTTPS. And how they do that? Companies literally have to pay. They have to pay for their websites to be considered a secure website. So they literally have to pay to get an HTTPS web address. Okay, so in them ensuring that they're paying for the security, they get that additional protection to ensure that whatever information is being communicated from one side to the other is protected. So this is another thing that you're to look at when you are trying to register on your bank account or to log into your online account. Always look for security on your website. Okay, with that said, now I want to proceed with the example of Atlantic Bank. Okay, so this is Atlantic Bank online banking. As I had mentioned earlier, anytime you're going to log into your bank account, one of the surest ways to ensure that the website is secure is to go directly to the bank's website, right? So in this example, this is done through the search engine. And here you will notice that this is the bank's legitimate website, correct? And you can notice here that it has the HTTPS. So you already know that this is a safe login, or sorry, a safe website for us to log in. Okay, so this is a short tutorial on how this bank requests their users to register for their online banking service, right? And I just want you to look at it, and then thereafter, I will explain to you the different aspects that the different security measures that the bank is implementing during the registration process, okay? So I will play this clip.
Welcome to Atlantic Online Personal Login Tutorial. Let us begin. To log in, go to Personal Login, which can be found in the blue box to the left-hand side of the page. Temporarily, you will be allowed to sign in on either the old Atlantic Online or the new one. Therefore, customers who still access their online account through the old site will enter their username and password in the login box on the left half of the page. After doing so, they will be taken to the old personal online site. In order to enter the new Atlantic Online, you will need to enter your login information on the login box on the right half of the page. First, enter your username. Now enter the scrambled characters that appear below the Enter the Characters field. Proceed to the PIN or mini token field. If you have a mini token, enter the 8-digit number generated by your mini token. If you do not have your mini token, enter your PIN number and press continue. If this is the first time entering, your mini token is 1234. You will be asked to change this upon entering. Next, enter your password in the password field. The personal phrase and image, or PPI, is our way of authenticating our website to you. We will ask you to select an image and a phrase. Each time you log in, we will show them to you. When you see your specific PPI, you instantly know you are at the right website. You should never enter your password if you do not see your correct PPI. If this is your first time logging,
Okay, guys, so that basically is the login process or the registration process for an Atlantic Bank account. So after watching the clip, can you list to me what security features or what security settings the bank is ensuring when the user is registering online? What are some of the security settings that the bank is ensuring to implement here?
The username, the password, the PPI.
Right. You're right, Mr. Zhu. So the username is something that, this is your login information, right? So not anybody should have your username, but even if they do that, you still need to know the password, as Ms. Arzu very well mentioned. It also has PPI. That is another security measure that the bank has implemented to ensure security. Right. There are two other security measures. Anybody else wants to take a guess as to which measures these are that the bank implemented? So we have username, password, PPI. That's already 3.
A phrase. They use a phrase or an image.
Is the PPI. The phrase is the PPI.
Or the phrase is the PPI.
Yes.
And
Ms. Olga?
the image as well.
I'm wondering what those numbers that we're supposed to like type in. We're seeing some code or some looking for the looking numbers, and we're supposed to type them in. I don't know what you call those.
Okay, let me just
But those seem to be some kind of security.
the characters, these ones here.
The little BP, whatever 32.
These
Yeah,
ones here.
Yeah, yes.
Right. So these are scrambled characters. This is how the
Right.
bank characterizes them, right? Yes,
Uh-huh.
that is a method. And the way this work is to ensure that it's not a robot or a software or a machine that is trying to log into your account. Robots don't normally, cannot normally think like a human. They're very automated, so they only think one way. So that is one. And the other one would be, anybody? Yes, Miss Marge, the token, right? That is the token. That is another security measure. And yes, of course, Mr. Rodney, you know, they are ensuring the security of the website by using an HTTPS website. Miss Pa, the PPI, that stands for personal, where is it? Personal phrase and image, okay? So when you're registering, they ask you to choose, again, you will select a personal phrase or a word that you know, it's easy for you to remember, hard for someone else to guess. And you will choose an image again, so that upon you logging into your online service, you are able to determine, okay, this is the word that I chose and this is the image that I chose. As per the bank's explanation for that, that is to ensure that you are indeed in Atlantic Bank's website, right? As it mentioned, if you do not see your image or if you see a different image, do not continue trying to log in to the service, because that may be a threat or that may be a risk that you're entering an unauthorized website. So that's what the PPI is for. Okay, that's their way of ensuring that you, other than using the HTTPS, it's another way that for them to ensure that you are visiting a secure website. Okay. So as for the token,
Thank you.
Marie had, you're welcome. I think it's Miss Marie that had asked about the token. This example here is, let me get my highlighter here. Is it? No. Okay. So this is an example of a token here. It's a device that the bank gives to you, right? At the moment, the device that they are distributing, it's not the same design, but it does the same thing. It's the same purpose, right? But this is a token. So how the token works is, this is configured to your account or to your username. So every time you press this little button here, it generates a code, right? And that is the code that you are to enter here, where it says paid mini token. You enter that code there. So if you, for some reason, do not have access to this token, you are not able to open or access your online services, right? Again, this is another security measure. In the event someone gets access to your username and your password, but they don't have the token, right? So the additional security measure. And this is how the mini token works. Currently, the bank provides an application that serves the same purpose as the token, where you go into the app and you tap, I believe, on something and it gives you the code. And that code is what you are to enter to access your account here. Okay, so again, it asks for your username. You are to enter the unscrambled characters correctly. If you do not enter them correctly, then again, it will not give you access to the account. So there's a checklist that you need to meet to ensure that you have access to the account, right? Some users might think it's inconvenient, right? There's a lot of things to do, but security above all. This is an example of a setup PPI here. So this is the phrase and this is the image that was chosen for this account. And here again is where you're required to enter your password. Okay. My presentation seems to have been frozen. One moment, guys. Let's go back to this. Any questions so far? Meanwhile, I get back the PowerPoint on the screen, guys.
Yes, good afternoon.
You're breaking up, Miss
Yes, Mr.
Kelsey.
Ramos.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Ramos.
I was just wondering, is there a strong or weak username?
Not necessarily. As I mentioned, the bank will give you guidance as to how your username should be,
Okay.
or they are the ones who will give you your username.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yes, they do give, excuse me, they do
Yes,
give you a username.
they give you the username.
Atlantic
Okay.
Bank, yes.
Yes.
So Atlantic Bank though, right? That would be the Atlantic Bank, I guess.
Yes, yes.
Because the other bank we have, we decide the username, no?
Okay.
Like
And do they
this bank, for
tell you?
example.
Do they tell you what your username should include or what it should have, or you just randomly create one?
I don't recall any specific requirement. I just know when you brought it up, I've seen it. And I saw the example you gave, they had like letters and numbers. So I thought maybe they would have been the need to have maybe numbers included as well in the username, no?
Okay, okay. Well, if they'd ask you for you to create your username, normally you would want something that's not too complex. I
Okay.
think that you would easily remember. But when it comes to the password, then yes.
That's when it becomes, yeah, okay, I get that.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much.
Make it as complex as possible.
Thank you.
Are you guys seeing the screen now?
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay, great. Yes, Miss Olga. Your hand is up.
I am thinking that on the customer side, well, these are like very good security. But what about the other side of the coin? What we're not seeing, like from the employee or employees at the bank, their side. I mean, how much of what we are having here are random actions, and there's the teller, whoever it is, who I don't know if it's a robot getting the feedback or whatever from the machine side of the bank. Can you just a little bit of that? Yeah.
Okay, so you are asking about the employees side.
Monitoring and looking at all that we are doing here, all these little things. Like if there's a trusted person who have all of our moves out here, or what I'm kind of new to the concept. I'm not really sure from their side how random it is.
Okay. If I can share my experience as to working in a organization that deals with information security, right? Because CITO is an information technology office dealing with government data. So you already know that government data is very sensitive. I'm not quite familiar with the process that the bank follows in terms of security, but generally institutions like that have access to sensitive data like that, they have their own internal security measures, security procedures. Take, for example, again, my institution, we need to sign, literally sign a document saying that I need to follow all these security measures to protect your data, right? And if something happens, or if I leak anything,
Still, I'm not hearing you breaking up.
I'm breaking up. Anybody else is experiencing that?
No. No, not I'm hearing it well.
You hearing me well?
Me too.
Okay, let me just try to see if it,
All I'm seeing is a blue screen.
can you hear me? Okay, let's see if this is gonna work now. I tried to just connect back the mic. Okay. I'm speaking now. Can you guys hear me? No? Okay, yes.
Yes.
Okay, great, great. Sorry about that, guys.
You're breaking up for him. I couldn't hear you.
Miss Sonia, you still hear me breaking up? Okay, probably she's not hearing me clearly. Okay, let me know if it happens again, Miss Sonia. So where was I, guys? Let me try to remember. Internal security with employees. Yes, so the institution would have its own internal security measure to ensure that your financial details, financial information is kept secure, right? So there are international standards that these banks must follow to ensure that. And there are, I would think it's called regulatory bodies that would need to go and audit or inspect to ensure that, kind of like supervise that, you know, they are doing what they're supposed to do to ensure that your data is protected. Okay, so those are all different processes, policies, procedures that the bank must implement on their side internally. Did that answer your question? Was it Miss Olga that you had asked me?
Yes, pretty much I can see that there's going to be a certain amount of trustworthiness, but as you said, that that those institutions, including yours, you all have your like contract agreement and procedures and whatnot, that kind of, and maybe things that limit certain people to certain actions. So that's part of the
Right.
safety control. Thank you
Right,
very much.
right. Yeah, because then in our institution, not because I work here, it means I have access to everything. Right? It's limited only to what I need to do. So the same thing with the banks, they don't have access to everything. It's just limited, and every action is logged. So every time I connect to the internet, they can track my history, right? So it's not left up to the employee. There are different security measures that are implemented. But very good question. Okay, so just insight as to the different services that the Atlantic Online offers. As I had mentioned to you yesterday when we had introduced or looked at the online banking, you notice that the services offered are similar to those that you can do when you walk into the bank. So here, for example, you have the accounts tab where you can actually go and review your account information. So you have the accounts tab. You have the payments tab where you have the ability to, of course, make payments, whether it's a bill payment, it is school payments. These are a couple of payment services that the bank offers. And the transfers tab, right? This is where you would go if you want to make a transfer of money from one account to the other, okay? So let me proceed here. This is an overview of the payment tab. So here again, what options do we have? We have the credit card payment option. If you have a credit card with the bank, you can go to credit cards. You have the bill pay option, right? And you have the school payment option. So it's categorized. The bank has categorized the bill payment a little bit more specific. So you have credit card only, bills, and then school. So based on what it is you want to pay, that is the option you will select. So at this point here, this is the bill pay option, right? And right under service, this is where you will select the service you wish to pay. At this point, most of our banks or our banking institutions allow you to pay our local utility companies, right? So you can pay your water bill, you can pay your electricity bill, you can pay if you have any account with Digi, that's the new name, with Digi, you can pay your bill from here. The cable companies, we have some gas companies, right? So you can select the type of service that you want to pay under bill pay. Of course, for you to be able to carry out the bill payment, there are certain information that you need to enter, that the bank requires you to enter to carry out the payment, right? So the way it works is that you are doing the teller's job, right? So you're being your own teller. You will enter your account name, you will enter the account number for the bill that you want to pay, and of course, confirm the transaction. So let me see here. Okay, so in this clip, you will browse on the types of service that you can pay using the Atlantic Online banking service. So once you click there, you will see a list of all the companies for which you can make a payment. And they continuously go about adding more companies in the event it's not in the list, right? So in this example here, as I mentioned, you need your account number or the account number of the bill you're to pay and the meter number. Based on, of course, the different companies. So in this example, it's requesting account number, a meter number. If you select, say, for example, a school payment, for school payment, you will need to enter, of course, a school account number, probably the student's name. Okay, so you're required to enter specific information that will assist you to complete the online payment. Oops, I lost the PowerPoint here again. Okay, here it is. Any question regarding the Atlantic Online's banking service? Again, that's just an overview of their online banking, right? And this was specifically personal. If you own a business and want to do online banking, the platform would be slightly different. Okay, so if there are no questions, let me just jump into sharing with you the Belize Bank online experience. And again, you will notice that the process is similar, but their platform is where the difference is. Let me bring this up here. Okay. So the first clip I will show you is their online enrollment, right? How they go about getting you to register online. Let me just make sure that my audio is on. Yes, it's on.
No time to go to the bank? With the Belize Bank Limited, you can carry out your banking transactions at the comfort of your own home. Self-enroll for online banking by simply visiting www.belizebank.com. Click on the online banking login page and then click Enroll Now. Input your cell phone number and select Verify Phone. A verification code will be sent to the cell number provided via SMS. Enter the code and select Confirm Code. Select an account type and enter a valid Belize Bank account number. Select Next. Enter the required personal information. Date of birth, Social Security number, email address. Select Next. Once the system validates your information, you will be able to proceed to the final step. Enter the desired username and password. Confirm password. Enter a PIN number, which must be between 4 to 6 digits long, and agree to the terms and conditions and the online privacy and security policy. Once completed, select Submit. You have now been successfully enrolled. A reference number is displayed, and your account should be activated within 24 hours so that you can enjoy the convenience of online banking.
So that is the process for enrolling on the Belize Bank online service. What are some of their security measures or the security measures that they implemented, but is not, we did not pick this up from the Atlantic Online Banking? What is a security measure that they implemented that the other bank does not have? Anyone?
Hello. In my case, we had like you had to select 5 sentences, give answers to 5 sentences, and so every time you go on, one of those sentences would pop up, and you put in your answer, and then you're able to get in or access your account.
The security questions, you were asked to answer security questions, correct?
Yes.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the previous or what was known before as Scotiabank, they had requested or they would have requested security questions as a security method. So yes, that is one of the security methods implemented. Yes, Miss Olga, confirm your SMS, your message code on your phone. So that again is a security measure. That is what we call a confirmation code. Okay, so they required you to enter something personal to you, which was your phone number. And for you to be able to confirm the code, you had to have your phone at the time when you that code after probably 5 minutes, it expires and you would have to request for another code. So yes, the confirmation with SMS is one of the security methods. Okay, and you noted that their process is different from Atlantic Bank's, right? So with Belize Bank, it asks you to enter your username, create your own username, to create your own password, and to create your own PIN. So this gave a little bit more flexibility to the user to create it or to make it more personalized. Okay. And they even asked you to enter your own information. You had to enter your account number, your first name, last name, etc. Okay, so that allows for flexibility to the user. However, if you noted at the end that upon you finishing the process, you had to wait for 24 hours before you could go back to access your account, right? And the 24 hours, basically what that serves for, the purpose of that is for the bank to verify the information that you entered. Okay, so they need to verify that indeed Mr. Burns, Stephen Byrne actually has a Belize Bank account and the account number is the same one entered upon registering. Okay, so that is what the 24 hours serves for. If during that time they cannot verify that, they will not allow you to access the bank account or the online banking service. Okay. Any question regarding this bank's registering process? Okay. Let me just again, as an example, give insight as to how this bank's online service is regarding bill pay. So how they—
No, my mic not there. My mic not there.
Mr. Burns, do you have a question? Okay, if you do, just let me know. So this again is a clip for Belize Bank's bill payment. So let me just ensure that this is—
Need to pay a utility bill, but don't have time to visit the bank or agent? With bill payment option via online banking, you can now quickly and electronically pay your utility bill. Once logged in, on the menu bar, select Bill Pay, then Pay a Bill. The Make a Bill payment screen pops up. First, select the account to debit, then select a payee. The payee can be selected from the drop-down list or can be typed in. If you would like to pay a payee saved in favorite, select the favorite icon and select a Save Payee. If you do not have any payees under favorite, you can select or input a payee and enter the mandatory details such as account number, customer name, and the amount to pay. You can enter details of transaction in any comments. If you would like to save as a favorite, select Save Payee as favorite and then give Save as a name you would like your payee to appear. Finally, select Make the Payment. Your PIN number is required. Once validated, the payment is successful.
So you noted that for this specific bank's bill payment, you are required to confirm that you want to make the payment, and the only way you can confirm that is by entering your PIN number. Right, so again, to ensure that you are actually authorized to carry out that transaction. Okay. Let me see if. So this other one here is just a video clip for online transfer, right? This is a transaction from that you can carry out using the online service as well.
Need a quick and easy way to transfer funds? Select Transfers option on the menu bar and click Make a Transfer. Select an account to debit and an account to credit. The desired credited account can be your account or a third party's account. When selecting third-party account option, the beneficiary information section displays. You can transfer to another Belize Bank holder's account or an account at another bank. Select the beneficiary bank and input the account number. In this example, we will carry out a third-party transfer. Enter the beneficiary's account's name, address, city and country are auto-populated to Belize, the amount, and the reason for transfer. For ease of reference, this transfer can be saved as favorite by selecting Save Beneficiary as Favorite. By default, this transfer is set to transfer immediately and carries a fee of $3. You can uncheck Send the Transfer Immediately, and it will be a deferred payment which carries a fee of $2. Next, select Make the Transfer and enter your PIN number. Since this is another bank transfer, the transfer is being processed.
Okay, guys, so before I close up the section for online banking, there are a couple of recommendations that we want to offer to you when it comes to additional securities or protecting yourself for online banking. So, of course, there's the usual: do not share your password, do not share your PIN, ensure that you keep those all safe, right? But at the same time, when we're making payments online, they normally will issue a receipt for those payments. In the case of Belize Bank here, the bill payment issues a confirmation code. I'm not sure if you guys picked it up, but they would tell you, okay, your payment is confirmed. This is the code. Keep track of all those codes just to ensure, again, that you have proof that you made a payment and that the transaction was confirmed. So that thereafter, if you're used to going to your bank account at the end of the month, you can reconcile all your transactions, right? Why? Because that way you will ensure that no unauthorized transaction has been carried out on your account. Very few times, if ever, the bank will reach out to you to tell you that there are unauthorized transactions on your account. The bank does not keep track of that. It's something that has to come from you. It's an initiative from you. So keep track of your receipts, keep track of your codes, and always reconcile your transactions on your online banking account. That way, you will ensure that, one, your bank is protected, is safe, and two, that it helps you confirm that you can trust that your financial information and your details are in safe hands. Ms. Hyde, I see your hand is up.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Hyde?
No, yes, I just unmuted it. I just wanted to clarify something. When you were talking about the payments to other banks or to third parties, you talked about a PIN. I think were you you were doing that based on accessing the bank's website, right?
Correct.
Because, okay, so because for Belize Bank, I have it on my phone, the app, and they don't do that. They don't ask for a PIN. They ask you to, once you've gotten to your, to the point of the transaction, they ask you for your one-time password, the OTP.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that's for
Right.
the app. So what you were talking about was in reference to the website. Okay.
Correct.
I just wanted to
Website
clarify
banking.
that I'm doing it
Yes.
correctly. All right.
Right.
Okay. Thanks.
If I can explain what is a one-time password, as Ms. Hyde just shared, it's a secondary type of verification, right? Similar to the SMS code, the bank sends you a password to access your account. It's a one-time password because once you use that password, it's no longer valid. It's a one-time password. So you need to be able to have access to that password. And also after a few minutes, that password is no longer valid. You would have to request, or I'm not sure what the process is, but the bank will have to provide or send to you another password. So that's
Actually,
the OTP is.
Actually, Ms. Delcy, what happens is that the one-time password is like a little clock. And it just goes around, and at the end of those couple seconds, and it changes. So you have to be sure that you type in the 6 numbers or the 4
correct
numbers.
one.
Right?
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Right. So that again is another it has a timer. The timer is what it has, right?
It's a timer.
Like a
Yes,
timer.
yes. I find it kind of inconvenient sometimes, but anyway. Yeah. It's not totally convenient.
Again, the bank is really not looking at ensuring that it's easy.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the purpose of it, right? Because you don't know who will have access to your phone, for example.
Yeah.
So it has to ensure that there's that additional security.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Ms. Hyde. Any other question, guys, before I move into online shopping?
I just wanted to share with the timer that Miss Hyde said. A couple of times, if you can't remember your password, there's a timing as well. I think they give you 3 times. And sometimes the questions that they ask you as well, if you can't understand, if you don't remember, you will lose the time, and then sometimes you start the whole process over again, no? So, yes. And then as well, you need to have all that information, the account numbers and so forth, because by the time you think you're going to look for it and come back, the time gone again. So the timing is important.
That is true. That is true.
Right. So there, it has like slight inconveniences, but the idea, of course, is to ensure that it's secure. They have to have those checklists that you must meet. And of course, yes, like you said, Mr. Ramos, if you know you're going to be paying a bill, more than likely you would have the bill on hand, right? And you would know what information you need to enter or your account number if that's necessary. Right. So but the idea is it tries to encourage you to leave your account open for so long. It tries to encourage you to not leave your account open for so long, because at that point, the bank does not really know what kind of user is accessing the account. So it's very generic. It's not really customized to a specific type of user.
As well, they'll still remember to log out. I think the log out part is important as well.
Yes.
After a transaction, yeah.
Log out of your bank account or your online bank account as soon as you're done with it. Yeah. Anything else, Miss Olga? I saw your hand is up. I'm not sure if I'm mistaken.
Yes, it is up. Miss Delsey, I know my daughter makes a payment for me since COVID. I don't go to the credit union, so she makes payment online for me. But she would email me, or no, she would WhatsApp me the transaction receipt record, whatever it is. So I am wondering, is that something that she has to take a picture of it, or how she get that? If you go into the bank, then you get your little transaction record. But then she texts me this transaction record where she pays that she did the transfer for me. But I don't know. I don't. She's transferring from her account, right? I don't know. I'm wondering, how is that a paper, or is that just something that she can do off her phone or something?
Okay, yes, that is called an e-receipt. It's an electronic receipt. If you need it printed, you can print it. But if not, then the image or the saved file should be enough. But you said that she makes the payment using her account, correct?
Yes, because as I said, what I do is I give her money, or she would say, "Mommy, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay it for you." And then she would send me as you said, no e-receipt, whatever it is, to show that yes, I did what you asked me to do. But then I am just thinking, if you go to the bank, that's a paper transaction, and I'm just wondering what she does, because I did, when you're depending on your children, you don't even ask what they do.
Right. That happens. I do that sometimes with my parents as well. But okay, so two things here. She sends you the receipt for your records purpose. It's kind of like ensuring that you have paid the bill. So in this case, it's just for you to have the evidence that you paid the company, whether it's your water bill or your light bill. But in her case, because that is not your online transaction, your online bank. So it's not your banking account, correct? So there you per se don't have to really worry about security in that sense, right? You would just need the receipt in the event you go to the bank and you question transaction, then you can verify. And normally the receipt will have a receipt number, right? It would have a receipt number or some sort of ID that is unique to that receipt. So in the event they don't want to claim that it's a valid receipt, you can always give them the ID so that they can verify it from there, right? So, and the other thing is now your daughter keeping that receipt because it's her online transaction that was used. Her online account, sorry, I keep confusing. Her online account that was used to carry out the transaction, right? So it's more for her to save the receipt, to consolidate her account, online account, and you getting a copy for, again, evidence that the payment was made. But that is a good practice, and I think a lot of us do that practice. A lot of us encourage or practice that sending of the e-receipts as evidence of the transaction.
Thank you very much. You have answered my question.
Okay, Ms. Olga.
Hello.
Yes, Ms. Carol.
If I could just interject what Miss Olga is asking. When I do it online, whenever you finish, it just spits out a number and it says that your transaction was successful. So I think that is the number that her daughter sends her to verify that, yes, mommy, I had paid that bill for you.
Right. So that's right, Ms. Carol. There's always a unique ID to that receipt that you can use.
Thanks, ladies. You can see that I'm kind of just new to it all. Thanks.
But that's the purpose, Ms. Olga, to bring awareness to you all and, of course, knowledge, so that the next time you guys engage in any online transaction or online banking, you are no longer confused or lost. Okay. Well, guys, let's just move on to online shopping. And what I'm going to be looking at here is basically tips for online shopping, right? What we're looking at when it comes to keeping safe and protecting ourselves when we're purchasing online. Miss Olga, I see your hand is up. Do you have a question?
Sorry, my hand should be down. Thanks.
Okay, no worries. So shopping online safely, right? This is what I want to address for this last part of the module. So when we're talking about online shopping, it's basically purchasing products or services over the internet. And we do this through the use of a computer, a phone device, something to that effect, right? And the advantages of shopping online, of course, are so many. You have the privilege or the opportunity to shop from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go out. I think I overheard you ladies talking about, you know, you're not wanting to turn on your video because you are in the comfort of your home. So we can do all of that while we are shopping online. But how do we protect ourselves? Right? Because again, once it's done over the internet, there are many things that are out of our control. So some safe shopping tips. The first one is when you are shopping online, research your seller. Who is it you are buying for? Who is that person that is selling the product, who is offering this service? If it's something or someone that you can check reviews from, go ahead and do that. Check the reviews that they have. If it's someone that someone recommended to you to purchase from, verify again, how was their experience? Did they have any problems receiving the product? When they received the product, was it how they said it was gonna be, right? So review your seller, check reviews from other customers. How much information are they giving you from this product about this product that you're selling or this service that you're selling? Are they giving you enough information to make an informed decision to purchase it? Okay, so you don't want to have that feeling that they are trying to hide something from you in order to make you buy this defective product or a product that is not what they say it is. And stick with a familiar brand or seller. If it's someone that you have purchased from before and you were satisfied with their service, try to stick with them. Although sometimes we may see products or services that are being offered from a new seller or from someone that we're not familiar with. So again, this is where we fall back to, let's check their reviews. What do other people say about them, right? How many people have purchased about them? More than likely, this type of information, you will find it online, especially if it's from one of those shopping websites, okay? This information should be available online. So research your seller so that you can be comfortable knowing that you are buying from someone reputable. Shop from a secure location. Again, guys, ensure that the website that you're visiting or whoever it is, the shopping website that you're using is secure. Right? Sometimes these websites also offer to you a privacy policy. They indicate to you that ensure that the privacy policy has stated there that your information and your personal details will be kept private, that they are not going to offer it to other people. And be knowledgeable about accepting cookies. So if you have ever surfed online or surfed different websites, you may have received a pop-up notification asking you to accept cookies. Okay, so what are cookies? Cookies are, this is a term used for websites to collect specific details about your information, right? And why do they need that? They need that, or they use that so that in the event, take for example, Amazon, right? I'll just take Amazon as an example. They use cookies to kind of develop a profile of what kind of products or services you're looking for so that they can offer you recommendations, okay? If for some reason you are shopping for medicine, say for example, right? You're shopping for medicine, these cookies develop like a profile from you, and what happens, the website starts providing you different recommendations, different medicines, if it's for diabetes, if it's for blood pressure. That is what the cookies does. So it collects information from you, but at the same time, they are to ensure that that information is kept private, that they do not give this information to other organizations or to other people that you have not authorized, right? So some of these websites will not allow you to access them unless you accept the cookies, right? So just know what is going to happen if you click accept. There are other websites that offer you the option. Do you want to accept or not? That's your choice, right? But again, knowledge, know what it is about.
That's it?
Yes, Mr. Ramos.
So you're saying that it's good to accept the cookies? Is that what you're saying? I normally just ignore it.
It's not a matter of good or bad, right? If you ignore it, it will not change your experience, your shopping experience, if I can put it that way. It will not block you, what's not, right? But accepting cookies, if for some reason they are in a way of forcing you to accept cookies, again, as I mentioned, some websites will not allow you to access the website unless you click accept. By you clicking accept, the only thing you're authorizing them to do is to collect pieces of information from you to help improve their services to you.
Okay.
Right? Not necessarily for them to take this information and sell it to other people or for malicious intent, right?
And that privacy policy, is it trusted? Because somehow when you give sometimes just your email address or so for a particular service, before you know, a lot of other things pop up on your email.
Yes, right. So it's important, very good question. It's important to note that normally these websites don't only have, sorry, I have it wrong. These companies do not only own one website, right? Take for example, Facebook. One person owns, well, I'm not sure if one person, but the same company owns Facebook, owns Instagram, owns WhatsApp. Okay, so that is why perhaps why you will see information that you shared on Facebook. Something similar might pop up on your Instagram that you did not provide to them, but it's the same company. So that is how they get access to your information, and you will see it popping out elsewhere.
Thank you.
Yeah. The only risk there, as I had mentioned earlier, is that these companies, they collect a database, right? They collect information from their customers, their consumers, their users. And the only risk there is if they do not keep this database secure, because then what happens, the hackers can get access to that database, and that's when the hackers make bad use of your information, and that is where you run the risk. But other than that, cookies are not as high risk as viruses or malicious worms that could take over your device or your computer. Miss Olga and then Miss Shireen.
Sorry, I don't, I didn't have a question. Sorry. My hand is down.
Okay. No worries. Miss Shireen, please let me know.
Yes, Ms. Delsey, I just wanted to add to exactly what you were sharing, because that, you know, at first, initially, for a lot of people, that was always a shocker. You know, Ms. Delsey shared how these websites that you use, you log into, they take pieces of your information, and then they use that information to help with your search. And that's why people were saying, for example, that it seems like Facebook is stalking you, because you might have been on Google or on a site and you probably were looking for a vacation, right? Or somewhere to travel. Like maybe you were looking for hotels in Mexico. And then all of a sudden, when you go on Facebook, you notice that you see all these ads about hotels in Mexico. So that's what it means. It sort of takes a little bit of what you have been doing online and then sort of try to make that searching or bring those things to you as you continue to browse online or stay online. So it's not necessarily bad, but it does take from your browsing history and whatever it is that you're looking for, and sort of makes that online experience seem like, man, they know me so well, but it's really because they're just taking those bits of information from you.
Right.
So accept the cookies then. Is there anything beside cookies?
Any other similar concepts to cookies you're asking, Ms. Paul?
Yes.
Not that I know of, and in terms of those specifically that will outrightly tell you or disclose that they are collecting information, right? So cookies, as Ms. Shireen mentioned, they're not necessarily bad.
Oh, okay.
It just helps your experience, but at the same time, it's good that they're letting you know that they are collecting data.
Because like Mr. Ronnie, I think I always ignore because me afraid for tab ad.
You can, like I mentioned that will not affect your website unless, of course, they require you to accept the cookie.
Thank you.
Ms. Olga, is this your you having a question, or again your hand keeps going up mistakenly?
Mistakenly, I think you've got to ignore me for the rest of the time. All right, I've lowered. I have. Is it up now?
No, it's lowered already.
All right. Okay. Great. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, ladies. So by using a safe payment method when doing online shopping, right? Because we're doing online, that means we need to use some sort of an online banking service. What I have here is when we're shopping online, the safest payment method to use is that of a credit card. Why? Because with credit cards, there's always that possibility for you to go back to the bank and tell them or claim to them that you did not authorize the transaction. So it depends on the bank's policy, of course. Then they do not, or they cannot force you to make payments on the credit card unless you can, they can prove that it was you who made the transaction. Right, so with credit cards, again, you have the ability to retract any illegal transaction or unauthorized transaction on your credit card. That's why it's the safest. We also have, if you can, and if the service is offered, transfer of payments. Okay, so you can transfer money from one account to the other and then send them a receipt of the payment to confirm the transaction, right? So again, that is another safe payment method. We also have payment apps, and one of the famous ones would be PayPal. you can use PayPal to make payments and ensure that the banking information, the credit card information, or debit card information that you submitted is secure, right? So PayPal is one of the most secure payment apps that you can use for online payments. The riskiest would be purchasing online using your debit card, right? So with your debit card, you can utilize it because it's tied to your actual account onto the amount of money that you have available there. Okay, so in the event you make a payment or someone makes a payment using your debit card, once that payment goes through, your money is already deducted. It's automatically deducted, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to go through another heavy verification as opposed to a credit card. So again, when it comes to online shopping, ensure that you are using a safe payment method to verify or confirm your purchases. So in the event you want to engage in safe online shopping, these are some of the safe shopping websites that are currently available online, right? And these are some of them are quite common, which we quite hear as often as almost every day. So there's Amazon, eBay, Overstock, Etsy, for example, right? So these have been proven to be safe shopping websites. Okay. At the same time, remember guys, it's still our responsibility to ensure that we do our research on the different sellers or whoever it is we're purchasing. Applies to in the event, right now there's a high rise of online purchases through Facebook or Instagram, where people show you products and they expect you to pay and then they deliver the product, right? There have been cases where some people have been scammed. They send the payment, they make the payment, but they do not receive anything, right? So again, our responsibility as the user or as a person doing the shopping, we need to make sure that we try our best to do our research on who we're purchasing from, that the payment method we're using is safe, and that the website is secure, right? Any question regarding online shopping? You guys are quite comfortable with online shopping.
Well, I am observing. You have me with my mouth open.
Well, as I mentioned, right, these are some of the benefits of the internet. It brings so many things in one location and you can do different activities online. But at the end of the day, we need to understand that there are different ways that we can do it to ensure that we're safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not encouraging anyone to do online shopping unless, of course, you can do it.
We are. I think I'm gonna try it, but I have to actually find something that is a need for me. I will learn.
Yeah, if there's the need for you to shop, then these tips are for you, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Miss Shireen, I see your hand is up.
Yes, Mr. So I just wanted to add, I like your websites there, but some of them might have shopped, but I know a lot of the participants in here, I see Miss Yvonne has her up, they probably do have that experience shopping online, or they have family, their children who are doing most of these shopping online for them, or they have family in the States who are shopping online. So I know there are other sites that you probably do use that you're more familiar with, like Walmart, Old Navy, Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret. A lot of people are shopping Amazon now, Forever 21, Children's Place, Carter's. There's so many sites online, but I just wanted to add, and I think Ms. Dulcie mentioned this when you're looking at when you're shopping, right? Because you might be recommended, somebody might recommend a different site for you that you're not familiar with, but you don't want to always be afraid. But what you want to do, no matter where you're shopping, is always read the reviews. Whenever you click on a product, if you scroll down, it gives you reviews where other customers would have talked about that same specific product that they purchased. And sometimes they put pictures. So if the product was terrible or never fit well, or, you know, it's not like it seems, even if it's Macy's, and you know, Macy's is known as this big, elaborate, expensive store. But even them, sometimes you go to the reviews and the customers will say, oh, when I received this product, the color was not the same. It wasn't as bright. So you can always scroll down and read the reviews. And remember, whenever you're shopping, they always ask you for an email address. That email address is very important. So use your email address so that you can track your purchases. Because what they do is they send you so many confirmations. Your purchase was confirmed. They let you know when your product has been shipped, so you can track your shipping and know when it's received. But also know that because we're in Belize, the shipping to Belize is extremely expensive. So when you're shopping online internationally, specifically, using another shipping company is always cheaper. So just wanted to add those additional things. But this is the time everybody is shopping online. So if you want to try it, you can always try it with Amazon, because I think that's one of the easier sites to just.
Hi.
Thanks, Ms. Shireen, for sharing that. Ms. Yvonne, Ms. Hyde?
Yeah, there's Ms. Delcy, thank you. Actually, what Ms. Rivera said is very correct, because the other sites, like JCPenney or Old Navy or Macy's or one of them, they're all pretty much the same. But I wanted to ask something. I wanted to go back a little bit, because I saw where you mentioned the payment, the various methods of payment.
Right.
Which one, if you have a credit card vis-a-vis using PayPal, which one is the better one to use, do you think?
If you have a credit card.
Yeah, I mean, right now I use my credit card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do mainly Amazon. So I would put my credit card, whenever I'm gonna get something off of Amazon, I use my credit card. But I'm asking now, is it better to deposit the information about your credit card in PayPal and use PayPal, as opposed to using a credit card straight on the site? Because PayPal needs a credit card for the payment, right?
Right. So PayPal would be like an intermediary between say for example, Amazon and yourself. Why some people would use PayPal is because other websites accept payments through PayPal, or some websites accept payment only through PayPal. So you just enter your credit card that one time, right? You register your card, and then you can make payments through PayPal from other websites, right? So, but if it's something that you don't normally make purchases from, I see Ms. Shireen hands is up, and she probably can give you more insight about how PayPal works. But I know that if you don't use your credit card for purchases as often, then there's no need for you to use PayPal, right?
So, but just to be clear, I'm intrigued by this PayPal. To use PayPal, you've got to deposit your credit card info on PayPal for them to be able to make payments, right?
Correct.
I'm not too clear. Maybe Ms. Rivera knows more about PayPal. I don't know much about it, but I haven't really used it, right? So maybe Ms.
Yeah.
Rivera could clarify. Thank you.
Yeah. Ms. Rivero?
Yes, Ms. Yvonne. Like Ms. Darcy mentioned, PayPal is like an app. So it sort of makes it easier for you when you're making purchases so that you don't have to put in all of your credit card information. So what it will say, like if you say click PayPal, what it will do is just for you to put in your password to log in there, and then they would make the purchase for you. Whereas if you don't use PayPal, you put in your credit card number, you have to put in your expiration date, and then your security code. But with PayPal, you don't have to do that. And why a lot of people do have PayPal, at least for Belize, and I'm talking about Belize, is because some websites don't accept international credit cards.
Yes.
So some websites don't accept it, like for example, New York and Company and Macy's, they don't accept that international credit card. So if you have a PayPal, it's verifying that your credit card is valid from this purchase. So you would click the PayPal option and then you will be able to make that purchase. But it's really just an in between. So you don't have to put in all of your credit card information.
Yeah.
And there's
your
a fee
billing information is already there and all of that.
There's a fee for using PayPal?
No. Yes, a transaction.
I don't know.
There's a transaction fee. There's a small amount, a small transaction fee. But just to let you know, in using PayPal, I use it for the sort of one-off transactions, not for regular, let's say, because we would tend to shop more on Amazon and the other well-known web pages. But PayPal is like a one-off thing. And it's very detailed in giving you the specifics. Well, the person sending you the invoice obviously will give you all of the specifics, and it's it's quite detailed. And as I said, we use that for one-off payments. I don't use it for regular, everyday type of
Pauline,
transaction.
Yeah. Thank you, Pauline.
You're welcome.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Dempsey.
No, thank you for asking. And that's a good thing, we, as I mentioned, the idea is to make more informed decisions. So with this information, you will decide, okay, which one is best for you. Right? Again, at the end of the day, the responsibility is on us as individuals. It's our choices, it's our practices. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of module 2 of the digital literacy program. So we covered pretty much everything that was on the agenda for module 2. I don't know if any one of you have any questions before I close out today's session, but just to mention, we shall be having module 3 for the digital literacy program. Again, Ms. Rivero or the National Council of Aging will reach out to you in the event you're interested from module 3, right? And that is again going to be different content that is related to digital literacy. Yes, Ms. Pauline, I would think it would
Yes.
be
Yes, sorry about that. I just wanted a little bit of clarification, and I think I may have overlooked it, sorry. With respect to visiting the website, HTTPS, you mentioned something about S?
Yes, that's right.
And I wasn't too sure. You said to look out for the one that has the lock. I forgive me, I wasn't quite clear on what you were stating there.
Okay, let me just navigate to that specific PowerPoint. But yes, what I was sharing is that for you to verify or to confirm that it's a secure website, you would look for the HTTPS. That's what indicates to you that it is a safe website.
Oh yes, those two things, because what I've noticed is that one has like a bold key lock and one has a, well, I guess probably it's the layout of the web page, but those two key locks or those two locks.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a significant reason for them looking that way, or it was just the layout of the specific website.
Yes, each website would have its own specific layout,
Okay.
but as long as it has a lock, it
Okay.
only would have the lock at the beginning of the URL.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
These two examples, it would have the lock. If they do not have the lock, because not all of them will have it, right? If they do
Okay.
not have the lock, look for the HTTPS.
Okay.
That is what
Right.
indicates to you that it is a secure
It's a
web.
secure web page. Okay. Thank you
And
very
it's
much.
very difficult for a company or an organization to fake an HTTPS.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Miss March. Miss March, I see your hand is up. And then Miss Hyde. Miss Hyde.
Sorry, I'm exiting the session. I have to go right now, so good evening to the entire group. See you all on the third module.
Thanks, Miss Marge. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
A big hand, sound of applause to you, Miss Elsie. You did a great job again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Sonia. Thank you. I'm glad that I am able to assist you guys accomplish this.
Thank you very much.
The
Is it
objective, right?
possible for me to join the module 3, Miss Delcy?
Yes, guys. Miss Rivero, I think will reach out to you guys and share more details about module 3 and the registration process and you know how to go about registering for that and share further information. So that will be coordinated with the National Council of Aging. Okay.
Thanks, Miss Delcy. Your presentation is
you, ladies.
worthwhile. It is very educational for me.
Okay, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear. Miss Hyde, did you have a question? I see your hand.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Delcy. I just wanted to know what sorts of things will you cover in the module 3? What would that
So
cover?
module 3,
More
what
or less.
it's looking like, it's more about you efficiently using your mobile devices, right? So we're going to be looking at checking out some of the settings that you have that you can use, that you can turn on, what settings you might not need. We're going to be looking at backing up your data.
Ah, yes, that's important.
Storage.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And of course, as I've tried to be very flexible, if there's something that you want to know about, let me know. I can always add that as long as the time permits.
Right.
And we can modify around your needs. But those are some of the things that we'll be looking at in module 3.
The backing up of the data is
Backing
something
up
that,
of
yeah.
data.
Okay.
It's quite important. I think it's good as a follow-up of cyber safety.
So that's gonna come sometime in November. That would be sometime.
That should be not next week, but the week after.
Oh, I see. Okay, there's a week's break. Okay, then that's great.
If Miss Rivera, if you can, I know you usually share some details at the end of the module for the next module.
Yes, Ms. Delcy. Like Ms. Delcy mentioned, the module 3 starts, I think it's the second week in November, which would be, I'm trying to open my calendar. So we have like a week break and then that's the final module. So that would be the 8th of November. Right? And that goes for 3 days. So you just let me know if you want me to register you for module 3, and I will make sure to write down your name. And then what I will do, just like I did with module 2, is I will send you the link for accessing the training a few days before the actual start date. So you'll probably get it the Thursday before the actual start date. And we won't do orientation. So it starts exactly on the Monday.
Miss Rivera, you could put my name down right now.
Okay, Miss Yvonne, I will do that.
I'm interested.
I'm interested too, Miss
And I will,
Rivera.
Sarah, I'll put it in the WhatsApp as well. So you can always send me a WhatsApp message if you didn't get a chance to let me know, if you need to think about it and see if your time will be flexible, or if there is anybody that you know that might be interested in participating and you would like to register them as well. Send me a message in WhatsApp or give me a call, and then I will register them. So you have the remainder of this week and next week to do that.
Okay. Are we done?
Miss Dulcie, I think your mic is off. All right, thank you guys. I'll let Miss Dulcie close off and then I will end the meeting.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
I've
evening.
been speaking to myself all the way. Yeah, as I mentioned, thanks, Ms. Rivera, for sharing those details. As again, you all have enough time to register for module 3. And thank you very much for your participation, for your interest in learning. That makes and that encourages me to ensure that what I'm providing to you is of use, right? It's very practical and easy for you guys to remember and to learn. So thank you for spending your last 4 afternoons with me. And this brings us to the end of this module, and I shall see you guys in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, more or less 2 weeks, guys, okay? So you all take care, be safe, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye, bye, Miss Elsie. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Enjoy your weekend.